Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over all of the books I read in April, and there were quite a few. I read a lot more than anticipated. Did I read all of the books that I had mentioned on my April TBR? No, but no need to fear. There was only one that I did not read from that, and that's already being carried over to May, so we're getting there. We're getting pretty good, I think. I do have a special little drink today. It is one of my favorite drinks. My boyfriend calls it my juice and my sippy cup because that's what it basically is. And it is my Diet Crayon Apple in the cutest cup ever. I love this cup. It's from Elo or Elo. I don't really know. But I think I also have like a lunch bag from them. It's like the lunch bag I use if I take my lunch. But I do love it. And I love Diet Crayon Apple because it's like 5 calories for 8 ounces. I don't know, but I love it. So, little fun fact, I have none of the physical books that I read in April. Almost everything I read was either an audiobook on my Kindle or I borrowed the books. So, I don't have any of them with me, but no need to fear. I will just put like the cover of the book on either side of me. I don't know which side, but it'll be up on the screen, so at least you know what I'm talking about. I have my trusty dusty laptop to help me go through all of the books I read in April because I don't necessarily remember. Like, I took a gander at my Goodreads today just to see what I read in April, and I was kind of shocked at the first book because I can't believe I only read that in April. I thought I read that like 2 months ago at this point. Life just feels so busy that I just feel like months are passing when really it's only been like 29 days. And I do want to make a claimer that this will be like a spoiler-free review type of vibe. I'm not going to sit here and spoil all the books I read to you. I am going to try to be as surface level as possible because I don't want to do that to you because I don't want to watch something and get spoiled unknowingly or out of nowhere. So I want to make that disclaimer that no need to fear. No spoilers around here. If I were to do like a spoiler review, I feel like it would be on the entire like book, like the entire video would just be about that book. You know what I mean? Or series. I feel like I will actually do like a standalone video on the Dungeon Crawler Carl series once I get to and finish book 8, but we will see. Anyways, let's move on to the first book I read in April, and that was Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I gave this one a 3 stars on Goodreads, but I feel like it's a little less than that. Like, it's not entirely a 3-star read for me, which is absolutely crazy because I love Emily Henry. I am a fiend for anything she writes. I love her romances. I love that they feel more realistic than like some other romances I have read. But this one just did not hit the way I wanted it to. I was expecting yearning and romance and like a rivalry type of vibe between the 2 main characters, but I didn't really get that. This book has a big focus on the subplot, and so I think it kind of took away the romance aspect for me because there was just so much of the subplot. This book kind of feels more like a woman's fiction rather than a romance book. Like, I just feel like this was like entirely misgenred, and that's like a little annoying, but it's okay. The romance didn't really have like a lot of time to build up, I think. I feel like the main character really fell quickly for the main male character, and I don't know. I just don't know why the main characters like each other besides they think they're both attractive and that they're the only 2 people on this random like island place thing. So it's like, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. Emily Henry was like the author that helped me get back into reading many years ago. Like, I loved Beach Read. I loved Book Lovers. I don't like People We Meet on Vacation at all, but I love Happy Place and I love Funny Story. And this one, I don't know, I feel like on the Emily Henry books, I would kind of rate this below People We Meet on Vacation, which for me is my least favorite Emily Henry book. I don't know. So I'm hoping she takes a little bit more time to write her next book. and that she is putting more romance and more yearning and maybe more banter. I don't know. I needed something more from this romance and I just didn't really get it. I was like left feeling like unsatisfied with everything. I'm like, ugh, I don't know. I just didn't like it. Then the second book I finished in April was the Dungeon Crawler Carl book number 4, which is called The Gate of the Feral Gods. I think in my April TBR video, I kept calling it The Fate of the Feral Gods. No, it's The Gate. So I finished that one pretty quickly and I gave that one 4 stars. I really liked this one. This one had like a lot of community and found families forming. So I really just loved it for that because one of my favorite tropes is found family. It's absolutely one of my favorite things. I love seeing it. I am currently watching Bleach with my boyfriend and there are so many moments of that found family that just like makes me want to cry. I don't know what it is, but I love it so much. So there was a lot of that in here. And I feel like in this 4th book, it's getting like a lot more serious and we're getting into like some nitty gritty things. At this point at book 4, book 3 is still my favorite. I just really love that one. Then after that, I did finish Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, and I gave that one 2 stars. I'm sorry. I feel like this is like such a popular romantasy among booktok and maybe booktube, but I did not really like this one that much. It kind of really reminded me a lot of Jennifer L. Armentrout with the From Blood and Ash series. And I don't know, I just didn't like feeling like I was rereading that. And I know I'm not like entirely rereading it. I know books now take inspiration from so many other stories and authors, but this one, I don't know, I just feel like this didn't work as well as like From Blood and Ash did. I saw the plot twist from like 10 miles away. I hated that the female main character asked one question and then for 12 more paragraphs following that, we're still on that same question. Just like the internal monologue, I couldn't deal with. I was hoping maybe I would read the second book that just came out. I think it's like called The Rites of Starling, but I don't think I'm going to. There's like no part of me that makes me want to go and read it just to figure out like what is happening in the story, because sometimes even if I don't like the first book as much, I will go into the second book and like read it because I tend to love sequels a whole lot more than the first book. I don't know what it is, but I love the second book of many series. But I just don't think I really care about these characters or the story or anything about it. I tagged this on my Goodreads as Headbanger, Womp Womp, and obviously Fantasyland. This was like a book that I borrowed from a coworker. And I feel bad for not liking it. I went to go give it back to her and she was like, "Oh, did you like it?" And I'm like, no, but that's okay. I do think it's like a good romantasy for those who are wanting to get into the genre or even just like the fantasy genre alone. I think it's like easy to read. It's good writing. It's not as like intricate as like Dune or Game of Thrones. So if you're wanting to read it, I say give it a chance. I always try to give books a chance, even if I've heard like so many bad things about it. What I don't like may be different from you. I'm just a little picky. But following that book, I did read my book club's book of the month, which was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, and I loved it. Okay, I absolutely ate that book up. I gave this one a 4 star. This is basically just a bunch of fantasy characters learning what coffee is, learning what cinnamon rolls are, and learning what like those little like biscuit things that you dip in coffee and then you eat it are as well. And I loved it. There was like a little bit of like suspenseful like plot, like a mystery, like a kind of like a ooh, is something gonna happen? There's like so much suspense happening, but it was also really cozy. Like I wish I would have read this in the fall because I would have loved to just look outside my window, watch the leaves fall, have like a fireplace video playing on my TV and just get into like the coziest vibe ever. There was a little bit of sapphic romance in it. It was very cute. I think there was like a second book within like this world that came out recently, so I'm definitely going to be reading that because this was just so fun. I loved it. I even made a new tag on my Goodreads labeled cozy as heck because I want to read more cozy books now. Like I'm so into like dark and gruesome like fantasy. But obviously I need to read some more cozy books because that was a lot of fun. If you have not read that, I really recommend you to do so. If you don't want to do it now, that's fine. Wait till fall, okay? Wait till it's like late September, early October, maybe even November, and read this. Read about characters learning coffee and like spreading something like an unknown culture to a different place and how people accept it even though they're like weary of it at first and they're like, oh, this ain't too bad. Like it's good. There's like a deeper messaging behind it and I really like that. And then I listened to an audiobook, which is crazy because I don't listen to like a lot of audiobooks, but at this point in like the month, I was really like not feeling music. But I did see on Spotify they had The Tenant by Frida McFadden, so I decided to give that a bit of a listen. And honestly, I just rated this a 3-star, which is kind of what I was expecting because Frida McFadden isn't like Shakespeare. Okay, I'll be the first to say it. She's no Shakespeare. She is very, I think, cookie cutter with her books, where you have the first part of the book, which is in the protagonist's point of view. Then you have the second part of the book, which is from a different character's point of view. And then you have the third part, which kind of mixes the two. And within that, like, second part, you really get, like, the plot twist and you start learning, like, oh my gosh. What? I knew the plot twist before I even got to part 2. It's just one of those things like you can tell. It's not a bad book and it wasn't a bad audiobook. It was just like, very predictable. It was just Frida McFadden. It was easy to listen to. I think I listened to it in like 4 hours. I don't know. I do not like the male main character. He sucks. He is the worst man ever. I mean, he's not the worst. But he does suck. He loves to do this thing where he's like, oh, I love my fiance. I would never cheat on her. Oh, I just love her so much. And then like 2 paragraphs later, he's like, ooh, I can see this girl's nipple through her sheer shirt. I wonder if she's wearing underwear under her skirt. Like, okay, you're a freak and I don't like you. Did not like him. Didn't really like anyone, honestly. But it was fine. It was good. I mean, sometimes I see Frida McFadden as kind of like a palate cleanser between books for me. Even though I thought this book was kind of mid, I don't think it will be the last Frida McFadden book I read. I feel like there'll just be more and I'm going to just give them a shot anyways, just because. Then the next book I read was Dungeon Crawler Carl #5, and that's called The Butcher's Masquerade, and I really liked this one. This one, I'm like, oh yeah, we're giving the finger back to everyone who's watching this, and I am loving it. I am having so much fun with this series. I love Donna, I love Carl, I love all of the other characters within the book. I am just having a hoot and a half. Now it's at this point that this is my favorite book. And then book number 3 is my second favorite. I just had a lot of fun with this. I love the setting. I love the story. I love the little like shocking things that happen. And the ending is absolutely brutal. Like I am still reeling in over it. I'm really upset. I don't know how things are going to work out. I'm a little scared, I'll be honest. But it's okay. I'm holding it together. I have been reading these books on my Kindle, but I do wish I've kind of been listening to them on the audiobook as well, because apparently Jeff Hayes is just having like the best time of his life narrating these books, and I'm a little jealous because my boyfriend's listening to them and I know he's having a lot of fun just hearing it. I wish I could hear it, but it's fine. I am really trying to like savor the series, but at the same time, I'm just wanting to read everything now. Like I want to go back to back to back, but I'm trying not to because again, I want to savor this series. I think the 8th book comes out at the end of May, but I only plan to read the 6th book in the next month. So hopefully I have a little bit of time to like savor it a little bit more, because I don't know how long it'll be between the 8th book and the 9th book. I do know that there's only going to be 10 books in the series, so we're nearing the end. And I'm scared for it because I don't want it to end. I've been having too much fun with the series and I really didn't think that I would. We're on the last book that I read for April, which is a bit of a doozy. It's going to be a bit of a bummer. I listened to this as an audiobook and it's called A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen, and I gave this 1 star. Honestly, I don't know why I listened to it, because I remember reading the first book in this duology and I didn't really care for it. I think I gave it like a 2 or 3 star. I remember not liking the female main character as much, but I did like the romance in it. I don't think at the time I had planned to read the second book, but I saw this on Spotify after finishing The Tenant and I said, sure, why not? Let's start a second audiobook. And I wish I didn't. I hated this book actually. I hated the female main character even more than the first book. She is a brat. She complains about the situations that she is putting herself in because she won't let go of her pettiness and her brattiness to do something, or to just forgive, or to just like take in her powers and use them. And so it's very frustrating to listen to her and to see her actions, but it was also frustrating to get like no romance. 50% in the book, there's still nothing. This whole book just like really annoyed me. I didn't have fun with it. I didn't care. I was bored. I was twiddling my thumbs waiting for it to be over. Overall, I read 7 books in April, which isn't bad considering I had only planned to read 5 books. Now, if you watch my April TBR, you probably noticed I did not read Daggermouth. Sorry. But I am starting that book soon. I started Verity Guild by Mike Horland, and then we'll be moving into Daggermouth probably today, honestly, because Verity Guild is my Kindle read and I want to start a physical book because it's been a couple weeks since I've actually read a physical book and I'm kind of craving it. But if you want to check out any of the other books I want to read for May, please check out my May TBR video. It's already been posted. It's already on my channel. You can go check it out. You can see what books I'm going to read. And then in that comment section, you can let me know what you plan to read for May. But while you're here, you should let me know if you've read any of the books I read this month and what your thoughts were on them. Or you could just let me know your thoughts on any of the books you read this month. I'm curious. If you'd like to keep up with me anywhere else on the internet, I am there. I am on Instagram, Threads, TikTok. I'm on Goodreads. I am on something else. I'm trying to think. I guess I'm technically on Twitter, but I don't really use Twitter. Nonetheless, I will have all my links listed below so you can check me out there. If you guys like this video, please consider subscribing or giving it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. It kind of motivates me a bit more. And I don't know, I just like trying to build a community of other like book loving people. It's fun. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.